What's going on, guys? My name is Chris and welcome back to a brand new LEGO Fortnite video. And today we're reviewing the Palm Paradise LEGO Pass that released on August 7th, and you currently get it with the Battle Pass section for 1,400 V-Bucks, or you can get it currently with the crew. So with that being said, let's just jump right in. Now the main thing that we'll be focusing on in this review is largely the builds, the pieces, and the decor pieces. However, I will be doing a quick showcase of everything currently, like the skin, which is a cool design. Personally, as I mentioned in my original reaction, I do wish it had the stylized look, but it's still really cool. Same can be said about the banners. There's a brand new addition that they've made for this LEGO Pass, and they don't really take up any slots. They're cool, like LEGO minifigure heads. Really cool addition, and they just go along with the building slots, which is really cool and nice, and hope to do more of this in the future. Something else that is probably the highlight of this pass in general for me is the cool little emote known as the little Ducky emote. I use this way too much. I'm actually using this emote, like, when I'm building, I probably just use this and spend like 5 minutes driving around my own builds. It gets ridiculous at times, but it's a lot of fun. Seriously, one of my favorite things inside of this whole game. Like, it's a full-on LEGO emote. It's amazing. So, with that being said, let's just actually jump into the legit builds and pieces and everything that I wanted to showcase here, because this build is really interesting. Now, to start off here... Oh, starting tonight. Give me a second. Alrighty, so back to what I was saying. This build is really interesting because the pieces here are inconsistent. And I do mean that, and this is like the only thing that like jogs the pass down for me is this here. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Now the pieces themselves are really cool. I love the color variety we're getting, and that's why I think it's like really good addition. However, there's not like a consistency of the pieces. For example, if we go to the floors here, which I want to kind of showcase to you guys real quick, this is like kind of gives you an idea what I'm talking about. So the white pieces here don't have a 2x8, nor does the yellow. The yellow doesn't have a 2x8, it doesn't have a 2x6, nor does it have a 2x4. Instead, it's just like a 2x12 in long piece right there. That's all you get for yellow, unless you want to use like the wall pieces here, or if you want to use these pieces over here that are currently in the roof gallery. Besides that, you have like this other thing here with the blue floor here that does not have a 2x6. God, I'm confusing myself with LEGO logic. And the reason why this is important is I mentioned this in previous videos of mine, where you get yourself in these awkward situations due to having the 2x6. You can't really like maneuver your way out of it, because if you have a 2x6, you normally get in a position where you can just, I'm going to pull out the free one here, you get this, and you get like a 2x2 gap, which using this new 2x2 piece, you can kind of get yourself out of that situation. But because you don't have that, you get these situations with the weird 2x2. You see that there? Now, what I think would be cool, and since they did this in the recent generic passage they released for everyone for free, is they add this brand new 2x4 piece, 2x2 piece, which I do hope they continue doing for future LEGO passes and LEGO kits in the future, as it's a very useful feature because it does help outmaneuver that situation where you have those awkward gaps that you cannot use. And speaking of which, the only pieces here that do have like the full-on set is the wooden like builds, which does make sense, as it's the main floor pieces for this entire build. And that's why I understand why these pieces are like the way they are, because they're mainly made these pieces for the builds, which we'll get to later. Now over here you actually have some other stuff as well, and weirder inconsistencies, like none of the pieces besides the one floor has like the actual like small like 2x like the 4x2, the 4x4. And then you have like a curve for the blue pieces, and then you have like this piece here. You got this cool little sky roof piece, which I did use in my Tiny Tines Tower build. You're going to see me mention that a lot in this video. And of course you got another like larger piece, which is pretty cool if you want to use it for like a sky roof or something. And of course over here, oh my god, I got the Poppy Playtime loading screen. That's sick! Sorry, I'm a Mascot horror fan, don't judge me. Of course over here we got the actual blue floor as well, which is very useful. I used a lot of this in my Tiny Tines Tower build, and going back to what I said, it was painful, because there was nothing, like, I had those weird gaps a lot. I just had to move over to, like, the Daily Bugle. It got painful at times, man. Now, one of the cool things about this, you got this cool little, like, railing that's, like, in this turquoise, turquoise cyan color, which is pretty cool. And you got this, like, wooden pink floor, like, stairs, which is amazing. I love this combo. And now, over here, we have one of the most interesting things, which I've always loved, like, this type of stuff when I'm building, which is the railings. Now, over here, you have, like, this railing, which could be very good for, like, Supernova Academy, or, like, the futuristic city or anything. I think this would be really cool, because it's a lot of nice design. You can also use it for like a modern house, which would be cool. And then over here you got this cool like strawberry shortcake design. Every big peek relay in this video, you're gonna see me mention strawberry shortcake. I don't know why, it's just been on the mind recently. And then when I first saw this, it reminded me of like the stuff like the railing from like the Sesame Street set that released a long time ago. If anyone knows what I'm talking about. That's how it reminded me of, but it's a really cool addition as well. I definitely see why I use, like, even really Wonka would be cool for that. There's some uses you can use for that. So moving over here, you have some other stuff as well, such as the blue floorings and everything. The blue walls are very interesting as well. This goes back to what I was saying earlier, as it's not consistent. It's not consistent. Okay, over here you see here, this, like only 3 pieces have the 2x4. The light blue wall here, the gray lining at the end, doesn't have the little like 2x8 here. You see what I'm saying? It's so odd. It's so weird. Why? Like, I understand why, because the walls, but at the same time, it's like, I wish they would, like, have all the, like pieces, so when you're building, because I ran into a similar issue of this during, like, the first org guide, and this has been something I noticed in, like, recent LEGO passes and LEGO kits, is they don't include, like, a bunch of the pieces, like, for example, you only have, like, this wall, and then you only have, like, the larger wall, and then you have this wall here for first order. So if you want, like, a certain gap, you find yourself, like, in, let's say, like, this here, you have to build like that. I know it's kind of like a simplified version of what I'm talking about, but there's situations where you have to do that. And the problem, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're building large structures like I do, you get these situations where you're using a lot of the build limit just from the smaller pieces, which gets very, very painful. But these builds overall are really cool. You have this like light blue wall, pink stripes, which was really neat. You got this cool little window design, which is awesome. We're back to the cyan color from the railings earlier. That's cool. You got this little circular curve design. You got the little like 2x2, and then you got this little cool window design, which I absolutely adore. And then over here, you got these cool half wall pieces, which the half wall pieces finally make their return. So for those that are new, and didn't even notice, during the Supernova Lego Pass, there was no half walls. Instead, we actually got, I gotta showcase this to you guys, is that we got the like the roof pieces here. If you were looking for half walls, there's none, and this bothered the crap out of me. Especially when I was making the Baxter building. It was painful, but I outmaneuvered it, because secondly, these like pieces up here for Supernova Academy are kind of like half walls, so it works. But it's nice having actual half walls again. And something I actually adore about these pieces here is you get the Technic pin, which is really cool, nice detail. I love that like little touch. It's just the detail in general on these pieces are so cool. You got this cool door, which is absolutely wonderful. These 2 doors right here and here are basically like the same. But the only difference is they have a different color on the top, which is really nice. Now over here, you also have this cool little pillar design, which both are very similar, but they have like different color palettes, which is nice. Over here, you have like yellow, basically this, but yellow, with the windows being that design, and this design as well. The yellow pieces are really cool. There's so many uses I can use. The last time we had like a yellow like walls were like a while ago, like in the Banana Bunch gallery, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like, the yellow pieces are really cool. I don't know why. This is just so cool. I love yellow pieces like this. And the more color variety we got, because I don't know if we ever got, like, pink before, right? I think pink might be no. Pink is definitely no. Like, having more color variety like this is very nice in the game, especially lets you build, like, more structures, which we never could before. And speaking of pink, pink is interesting as well. You're gonna see me say this a lot. God, there's a lot of weird stuff about this pass. And I just want to talk about it. You got like all these pieces here, right? They're all just normally got the pink walls and stripes, which are pretty nice. All this here. And then you got the pink walls with the brown stripe at the bottom. And there's no more pieces for it. And it's so odd. A part of me thinks it's funny, but another part of me is like, man, if I ever use these pieces for a build, it's going to be painful. Like I said, I understand why it is this way. But I just wish there was more pieces for this. But over here, we have, like, the windows. We got, like, more half walls, which are pretty nice. And by the way, I do want to point this out here. If you're going to be using these walls and you don't want, like, the white stripe going upwards, you can definitely use the half walls to kind of just, like, get rid of the white stripe, man. It is very cool. And, of course, you got more card walls. You got some of the actual support beams, which you can find in the pass as well. You can find it, as usual, over here in the beams. And then you also got some lovely, lovely supports with this here. And over here, you got some windows, which are very similar to the windows we got in the Supernova gallery, which is pretty cool. You got these pieces here. Pretty nice, pretty cool. I love the half wall. The half wall here is going to be very useful. I definitely see myself using that a lot. The door piece here is really cool as well. And then we also got this garage door, which is also very, very sick. Now, if you didn't go to Supernova Academy, this is very good because they're very much the same. And the only downside of these windows is you cannot see through them. But at the same time, they're cool. I love them. They're really neat. And then over here, you got the actual roof pieces, which they're very interesting as well. Of course, over here, you got some color choices, which is pretty cool. Orange has the least amount of pieces. As you can see here, it only has like 3. And then light blue has the second least amount of pieces, from what I can tell. as it doesn't have like a large wall right here. And of course, yellow probably has like the most amount of pieces, which you see here. Technically, you could say both yellow and cyan do have the same amount of pieces, because it looks like a combo right here with this like little neat design with the indent, which I think would be really useful if you're trying to make a certain design for your build. Like maybe like an arcade would be cool. Just saying. Like overall, I think the builds for me, like it's cool. I like most of this. I know I'm like over exaggerating it a bit. The builds are really cool, and I love the colors that we got for this, and yeah, like they're really cool. The builds themselves, I will say, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. Like, fortunately for me, because there's a lot of cool stuff here. I just wish there was more like consistency with like the pieces and everything. But yeah, let's move on to the actual decor pieces, which there's some really cool stuff here. And since it's starting to become nighttime, you'll probably about to see like everything that I've been mentioning. I don't know why I've been mentioning. I get to show you guys like some of the glow in the dark pieces, which is pretty cool. That's really cool about this is you actually see a lot of rubber duckies. There's a lot of rubber duckies. You got duck, 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 duck. There's no goose, but there's ducks. One of my favorite things about this is you have these cool beds. Oh no, wait, no, no, no! That went bad. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Okay, so over here, one of my favorite things is actually this like bed piece here. I see myself using this a lot. You got some other beds like this little Atlantean bed. You got this chocolate bed. You got some more stuff. I'm just gonna do a quick overview of everything. You got this cool little like table right here that kind of gives me that strawberry shortcake vibes. And just like I said, I'm not gonna go too much in depth about this. You got this little storage container here. Something I find very, very interesting is that this corner piece here is actually a storage unit. You can throw storage and stuff in here. There's no shelves, but it's storage. Don't go to the Atlantean one expecting the same thing. No, I do want to mention this whole stove guy. I really wish I knew he was there during my Time Tower video, because man, how can you not love this guy? He's so optimistic. He's screaming every single day of the week. Is that right, my friend? That sounds about right. Now going over here, you can find these little like more counters, which has the support beam. Like, it doesn't really have a corner piece, but you can just combine them together. Pretty cool. I love them. You got some cool chairs over here. One of my favorite things, you got this little lawn chair, which I think is really useful for me, because one of my favorite like thumbnails, so screenshot stuff I like doing is when I'm in like a lawn chair and there's like a giant like sunrise in the background. I don't know, I just like doing that in Fortnite. So like doing it in an emote is like kind of hard, because eventually you just like outmaneuver. You can't really get your full like the position you want to. So having it as an actual chair, yeah, I can like just move the camera any way I want to, which is very, very nice. Now over here you got some more like couches with the ducks. You got this little shell design right here. You got this like mirror, which would be very useful for like a SpongeBob build. And of course you got another boat. Yar har WDD, you are a pirate. And over here you got this cool little shower design, which by the way I just want to point this cool little tip and trick out if you want to use it. As if you were actually like using this, you could just put these together and make an actual full-on bathtub. I think that'd be cool. And it's kind of similar to like what I did in my Titans Tower video. It's exactly what I did, I love this little janky guy right here. He's in the shelves category. He's just a fun little duck design. And then of course you got this shelf here, which would be probably perfect for like a Starfire room. And you got some ducks. You got some more ducks. I love the lighting. You have like a bunch of the lighting here, which is pretty cool. My favorite, like I just love the Art Deco vibe that a lot of this gives, and especially the coral. It's all neat. You got some over here, some cool, like carpet choices, which my favorite kind of matches the skin from the past right here, which is pretty cool. I think it's one of the best carpets that we got in a while. And I love the other carpets here too, like this little ship design, and like there's so many cool stuff here. And personally for me, a lot of the decor pieces really overshadow the actual builds, because there's so much shit you can do with these. And that makes this whole entire bundle worth it in my opinion. Besides the cool colors that you get and like everything else, it's just like, there's so much here. It's amazing. And then of course you got like the posters and everything you hang on a wall. Pretty cool. They got posters with the actual builds in the background, which is nice. You got some like lovely life preservers, which has a lobster. Don't ask what happened to Larry. You got some clocks, chocolate. Like there's a lot of stuff here that you can do. Like a little towel rack, which is very useful for your like restroom builds. Like seriously, there's so much. I keep on going on about this. There's so much here that you can use for your builds. You got a bunch of the clutter here, like this giant ship, which I love. You got some chocolate flowers. You got some, like, I love plants inside this game mode. I almost, like, didn't showcase all these shelves here. But I love plants inside of Lego Fortnite. Like, stuff like this is so nice and it's amazing. Because I'm using this currently, this one here, currently for my Hall of Justice build, which you guys will be seeing in either next month or in December. It's very exciting. It's seriously, like, all these props makes this whole entire bundle worth it. If you're not, like, into the builds, it's really cool. So going over here, you also have like the palm trees, which are really good for coastal areas, and this TV here, which also glows in the dark. This TV is the only, like, out of this thing, the TV and this over here, the lamp on the bud is the only thing that glows in the dark. Now something else I think is cool, you got the chocolate here, should be really good for Willy Wonka, and you got this little pergola thing, which is very useful because if you watch my channel back last year, I did make the design where I always use this piece here as like a little pergola, but having an actual piece here that does it is very useful as it doesn't take up like much memory. It's an amazing feature, and I'm glad that we finally have it. Because it might sound simple, but placing these over and over again, like taking free memory each and you use it a lot, it does take up a lot of memory. So having it in one piece that does it by itself, very nice. Now going over here, we can actually do a quick showcase of the builds themselves. So we got this little duck here, which is very nice. You can just go inside the head, which is cool. Not much really inside here. We can make it like a bedroom, and then you go downstairs. We have this little gap here. We can put like a kitchen. Yeah, welcome to home designer Chris. You got this cool room area right here, which I think would be amazing. And I still like my idea. This is what I'm gonna do if I plop this in my Brick Life little playthroughs, when I do my Brick Life updates, stuff like that. You can very easily make this into an arcade. Just saying. Hear me out. It fits the vibe. Overall, this builder here is actually very intriguing, as there's actually plant life here. When I was placing everything down, this actually very surprised me. I didn't know they would do this. And it's very useful for Brick Life, is because that's like, you only really get to use these prefabs in Brick Life. So, it's pretty cool. I actually really like it. You have so much room here to do whatever you want. And you go like upstairs, a piece of detail I really love is that you have this little like roof here with the glass in it, so you can just have like the light shining down on the flowers. It's a simple detail, but I like it. And then you have the boat here, which yeah, you can do a little Steamboat Willie stuff if you want to, or you can recreate Titanic. Yeah, that's nice. We got like stuff going here. You can go downstairs and you can do just like chill out. You can do whatever you want down here. It's pretty cool. And you can go upstairs as well, which is over. Where's the entrance upstairs? Yeah, over here. And you can make like a little like area for your little like captain's office, which is pretty nice. And then you got the casino. You can have a casino. Let's go gambling inside of Lego Fortnite, boys. We can just have a little drive-through this way. Yeah, you Brick Life. I'm excited to see what this looks like. And then you can go over here and you go inside. Man, put all the arcade machines, make them a little like. I do not go to really like casinos a lot, man. So I'm just making a lot of parody jokes here. But that's how I do things. Cha la la la. God. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this build. It's really cool. I like this little balcony that you got here. Just like, oh my god, it's like a miniature balcony on each side. That's actually really cool. And then you go over here and you have like this upper like thing where you got this little roof and you can go outside. Like, it's really my favorite build. Like this whole, like the builds in this are amazing. I love the arcade I throw down. It's actually throwing me off. God, I mean, this like, it's really cool. And overall, if I had to rate this pass, it'd probably be like an 8.5 out of 10. Because there's so much here that I love. Like, the color choices and the builds are amazing. The decor is absolutely phenomenal. Like, there's so much use you can do in Strawberry Shortcake, SpongeBob, Willy Wonka, even Sesame Street if you want to. There's so much that you can do with this. It's amazing. And same can be said without the builds. That's so much variety they can just put inside a Brick Life or just anything in your own worlds too. It's amazing. Absolutely love it. And yeah, like I said, it's one of my favorite passes that we got recently. I think it tops what we got with Supernova Academy, personally for me at least. And yeah, with that being said, we're going to end it here for today's video, and let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. But with that being said, I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like. If you're new here and you really like receipt support, definitely consider subscribing so I make more Lego Fortnite content just like this. So with that being said, I do hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a spectacular day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone.